A box of acacia wood and gold vanishes from history, yet remains the most sought-after relic on Earth. 3,000 years ago, it vanished from the ruins of a destroyed temple, leaving behind only whispers of divine power and terrifying retribution. Was it hidden in the subterranean tunnels of Jerusalem, smuggled across the Sinai, or does it rest silently within an Ethiopian sanctuary? We track the evidence across continents, peeling back the layers of myth to reveal what really became of God's missing weapon. We stand before the threshold of a civilization defined by gold, stone, and silence. History paints the narrative of a wandering tribe forging a nomadic existence, yet beneath these shifting sands of the Sinai, a singular object demands our focus. This golden chest was not merely a vessel, it functioned as the epicenter of divine communication, a conduit that purportedly harnessed power beyond human comprehension. While mainstream chronicles recount the movement of the people of Israel, we must scrutinize the tangible remnants that suggest a more profound reality. Was this artifact a manifestation of engineering or a literal mechanism of heaven? As we trace its path from the wilderness to the opulent sanctum of Jerusalem, we uncover layers of political ambition and theological gravity that transformed a simple box into the most hunted relic on this planet. The records are fractured, leading us to believe that its disappearance was not a result of chance, but a deliberate act of concealment to safeguard its essence. When the temple walls finally crumbled, the object vanished, leaving behind only the haunting specter of its former presence. From the dust of ancient conflicts to the modern, enigmatic claims emanating from the highland sanctuaries of Ethiopia, the trail is cold, yet the resonance remains thunderous. Are we chasing a ghost, or is the missing weapon of a deity waiting to be reclaimed by those who understand its true purpose? We are here to dismantle the myth, examine the cold evidence, and confront the unsettling possibility that some secrets were never intended to resurface for the eyes of the modern era. Bezalel sculpts under a blistering sun, translating divine directives into physical matter with surgical precision that defies the standards of the era. We observe how pure gold envelopes the acacia structure, transforming common timber into a sacred receptacle designed to house the tablets of the law. This construction ignores aesthetic whims, functioning instead as a precise apparatus engineered to channel energy whose nature remains veiled to the uninitiated eye. Analyzing the dimensions and materials, we discover a striking disproportion between the simplicity of the design and the metaphysical weight this object carries within the arid Sinai wilderness. It acts as a technology of the invisible, a container forged with astonishing mathematical accuracy that suggests an advanced intention at its core. While incense smoke envelopes the perimeter, the presence of this object redefines the relationship between the tribes and their deity, turning the nomadic camp into an epicenter of contact with the absolute. Meticulous execution by the craftsman does not seek beauty, but rather the efficacy of a tool capable of resonating at a frequency that human senses barely perceive. However, while observing the intricate joints and the strategic positioning of the cherubim, suspicion arises that this chest, beyond being a mere symbol, operates as a sophisticated antenna amidst the sterile void. Official records celebrate faith, yet physical evidence hints at a technical function concealed behind the veil of the sacred that we only now begin to grasp in its entirety. The silence in historical annals regarding the specific internal mechanism suggests that this void serves as the most compelling proof of a truth deliberately hidden from view. King Solomon orchestrates the ultimate fusion of divinity and statecraft, embedding this golden chest deep within the sanctum sanctorum of Jerusalem. We observe the monarch mobilizing thousands, not merely for construction, but to anchor his theocratic legitimacy within the bedrock of Mount Moriah. This monumental installation transforms the capital into an unassailable epicenter of authority, where the artifact serves as the primary tether between the throne and celestial favor. Analyzing the strategic placement of the inner chamber, we uncover how the king weaponized religious awe to solidify his dominion over a fractured regional landscape. The opulence of the surroundings masks a cold, calculated reality. By housing the relic here, Solomon ensures that the heartbeat of the nation pulses directly through this golden vessel. Every ritual performed within these walls amplifies the aura of the kingdom, projecting an image of divine endorsement that discourages internal dissent and commands international respect. The sheer technical precision in the chamber's layout implies a need to shield the object from external prying eyes while maximizing its symbolic weight in the national consciousness. Yet, as the kingdom expands, The heavy silence surrounding the object reveals a burgeoning anxiety. It is no longer just a sacred curiosity, but a political pivot point upon which the entire stability of the Jewish state precariously balances. We must question if the king truly controlled the entity within, or if he merely curated a facade to distract the masses from the underlying instability of a power predicated on the possession of the unreachable. Columns of flame consume the sanctuary, turning the once radiant limestone of the first temple into smoldering debris. As the Babylonian forces breach the inner sanctum, the primary objective of their campaign becomes clear: the seizure of the divine vessel. We observe the frantic scramble of the priesthood, sensing the finality of an era defined by golden resonance. Chroniclers record the systematic pillaging of precious metals, yet the most vital component of the national spirit evaporates from the manifests of the victors. The absence of this artifact in the extensive inventory of items transported to Mesopotamia forces us to confront a terrifying probability. The vessel was not captured. It was spirited away into subterranean labyrinths before the first wall collapsed under the relentless assault. By scrutinizing the silence within the Babylonian records, we detect a deliberate obfuscation, a void that suggests a desperate, coordinated effort to strip the invader of his greatest prize. This missing treasure represents more than just a lost relic. It signifies the intentional severance of a spiritual link that could never be replicated by the subsequent rebuilding efforts. While the city burns, the true power of the kingdom retreats into the darkness of the earth, leaving behind a vacuum that history has failed to fill for over 2 millennia. If such a pivotal object could be erased from the spoils of a conquering empire, we must acknowledge that the silence in our archives is not an accident of time, but the ultimate testimony to an operation of concealment executed with unparalleled tactical precision. Highlanders in the remote Tigray region guard a secret that challenges the fundamental timeline of biblical artifacts. We observe the singular chapel of Saint Mary of Zion, where an exclusive guardian maintains a perpetual vigil over an object shielded from the glare of modern scrutiny. This monk, bound by an oath that spans centuries, represents the final link in a chain of custody that allegedly stretches back to the exodus of this relic from a crumbling Jerusalem. Scholars remain divided. Some dismiss these claims as pious folklore, yet the sheer persistence of this tradition forces us to acknowledge a narrative trajectory that refuses to die under the weight of skepticism. When we examine the geographical and cultural isolation of this sanctuary, we uncover a protective mechanism that has effectively rendered the object untouchable by external forces. There is a palpable tension between the desire for scientific validation and the rigid preservation of a mystery that exists beyond the reach of conventional archaeology. The absence of physical proof does not constitute an absence of reality, especially when the guardians describe a presence that exerts a profound influence on their collective identity. As the winds sweep across the plateau, the relic remains entombed in its own silence, defying those who demand to witness it. We are forced to admit that our reliance on tangible data might be our greatest limitation, as we attempt to quantify a power that intentionally remains veiled, ensuring that the final chapter of its history remains written in the shadows of the Ethiopian highlands, unreachable by the arrogant gaze of modern academia. Shadows stretch across the ancient dust as we confront the zenith of our pursuit. We stand at the precipice where faith collides with the cold reality of displacement, forcing us to reckon with the disappearance of the ultimate divine instrument. The air thickens with the weight of unrecorded history, as we analyze the precise moment when the artifact transcended its physical form to become an eternal enigma. We feel the sudden acceleration of our pulse as the trail fractures into 1,000 disparate accounts, none of which provide the solace of absolute truth. Confrontation awaits us in the silence of the records, where the absence of the object serves as a testament to its profound value. We witness the intersection of geopolitical ambition and religious fervor, where the desire to possess the vessel transformed into a desperate campaign of obfuscation that shattered civilizations. The breaking point emerges not in the discovery of the chest, but in the realization that we may be chasing a construct designed specifically to be lost. Can we ever reconcile the historical thirst for power with the spiritual necessity of concealment, or are we destined to forever orbit a void that defies all rational explanation? We are trapped in a cycle of speculation, staring into an abyss that demands our total surrender to the unknown. If the weapon was truly reclaimed by the divine, our search remains a futile exercise in human arrogance, forever locked in the struggle to grasp what was never meant for our mortal eyes to behold or possess again. The trail of this golden vessel dissolves into the mist of antiquity, leaving behind a vacuum where physical proof should reside. We have navigated the intersection of desperate human ambition and the elusive nature of the divine, only to find that the most potent instruments are those that refuse to be observed by mortal eyes. Whether concealed within the highlands of a distant nation or reclaimed by forces beyond our terrestrial comprehension, the relic serves as a mirror to our own relentless pursuit of absolute power. By stripping away the layers of myth and political theater, we encounter a truth far more unsettling than the object itself. The silence in the historical record remains our only tangible guide, a stark reminder that some mysteries were never destined for discovery. As the curtain falls on this investigation, we are forced to accept that the ultimate weapon of the heavens exists primarily within the reach of our eternal wonder. True knowledge isn't given, it is earned by those who seek it. This channel is for the thinkers, the curious, and those who demand more from history than just dates. If you are one of them, subscribe. Let's claim our intellectual heritage.